A Persian Palace for Pictures opened in Chicago. Exhibitors Herald, September 3rd, 1927. When the Avalon Theater on Chicago's South Side was opened August 29th by Cooney Brothers, the average American citizen probably for the first time gazed upon the real splendor of Persian architecture and design. Chicagoans, to whom the opening of $1 million theater has ceased to be a thing of interest, probably thought that the Avalon would be just another movie palace. But the Avalon is far above just a movie palace. It is a Persian palace of the atmospheric type where pictures are shown, and above that, it is an art institute and museum of Persian art and design. It is Persian from the front door to the backstage entrance, and to describe it with words is like shooting off a firecracker to duplicate the World War. Although the Avalon's cost is expressed in 7 figures and has an advertised seating capacity of 3,500, it is not one of those gaudy theaters that shrieks to every beholder, "Look what I cost." I wanted to create a theater where pictures could be enjoyed in restful and beautiful surroundings, rather than one that would be a mere flaunt of lavishness, says John Eberson, the architect. And to learn how successful he has been, one has only to visit the Avalon. Inside and out, the Avalon is a feast to the eyes, and a treat to one's intelligence. Entering the Avalon's single entrance, one steps through a narrow lobby into the foyer, which represents the formal court of a Persian palace. At the opposite end is a balcony with a wrought iron grilled window opening upon it. The window is known as a flirtation window, from which ladies of the harem would flirt if the Avalon were really in Persia. The foyer is divided into 2 parts separated by wrought iron gateways. This facilitates efficient handling of patrons. The incoming and outgoing crowds are at all times separated by the gateway, thus eliminating all confusion. The ceiling of the foyer is a thing of rare beauty, being studded with jewels of many hues and executed in the design of a Persian rug. Floodlights concealed in a cove below the ceiling play upon the jewels with colorful effects. On one side of the foyer are a series of arched panels built in the wall, which contain mosaics designed by Charles Morgan. These mosaics tell a complete story of a religious pilgrimage. The large center panel mosaic shows pilgrims encamped before the walls of a city, and the other mosaics in the foyer are connecting links in the story of the pilgrimage. In a corner in the far end of the foyer is an aquarium built in and flush with the surface of the wall. It contains many species of Persian fish. Descending to the basement, one finds a spacious lounge promenade, from which open the ladies' and men's rooms. In the center of the ladies' room stands a unique seat, called a Persian love seat. The design, construction, and workmanship of this seat are things at which to marvel. Directly off this room are the juvenile room and children's playroom. The walls of the playroom are decorated with colorful panels depicting scenes from the Arabian Nights. And in this room, there sits a Persian cradle, picked up in New Orleans by Mr. Eberson, which is said to have been the cradle of Omar Khayyam. The tile floor of the men's room follows the design of a Persian prayer rug. An extremely unusual feature of the lounge promenade is a window opening upon the refrigeration room, showing the entire refrigeration plant. This affords the patrons a view of the plant, and proves an interesting feature of the theater. Saving the greatest beauty for the last, one again ascends to the first floor to view the auditorium. It is a scene of splendor that opens before the eyes. The auditorium depicts the garden of the Persian palace. Above, stars twinkle in a dark blue sky flecked with lazy, drifting clouds. On either side of the proscenium and before the organ lofts are tall minaret tower shrines, each of which is of absolutely different design, thus getting away from the usual theater interior, in which both sides are exactly similar. In the balcony of one shrine are two panthers, and a peafowl is perched upon the railing. The pillars of the shrines are encrusted with jewels, which are fitted loosely in their settings, so that the natural vibration of the theater cause them to move slightly and reflect the floodlights directed upon them. At either side stand large winged lion statues. These lions had symbolic meanings in Persian religion. The seats, supplied by the A.H. Andrews Company, are of special design which carry out the Persian type of art. The arms and backs are of clear wood. I said that the Avalon is a museum of Persian art and design. One has only to stroll around its spacious promenades and rooms to realize this. There are many beautiful pieces of furniture throughout the theater that were gathered in Damascus by Mr. Eberson and his agents. These pieces are inlaid with ebony, bone, and mother of pearl. In niches in the wall and upon rare old tables can be found charming pieces of Persian bric-a-brac and beautiful pieces of workmanship in hand-beaten brass. From walls hang antique tapestries from Damascus. All electrical features are of hand-beaten brass and were executed by the Victor F. Perlman Company. There are 90 different kinds of marble used in the theater, which have been brought from Italy, Russia, France, Canada, and from many states of this country. The wrought iron gateways, grills, and windows were executed by the French artisan Le Bon. Mandel Brothers of Chicago furnished the rugs and carpets. The dominant colors of the theater are dark blue and old gold. The walls are of Craftex, designed by hand in a typical Moorish texture. Inlaid in the walls are beautifully colored tiles of charming design and color. Everything backstage is of the latest equipment. The 3-circuit switchboard is a major pre-selective system, and the stage rigging is a Peter Clark system. The stage set was executed by Voland. The theater temperature is controlled by a Carrier refrigeration system and a Reynolds heating system with Ray oil burners. The Avalon projection room is up to date in every particular. It measures approximately 40 feet in length by 12 feet in depth. The equipment consists of 3 simplex machines equipped with peerless reflecting arc lamps. Vitaphone equipment is also installed in the booth as a permanent feature. Vitaphone will be used several weeks following the opening. A separate room houses the Martin rotary converter. Ample ventilation is provided together with facilities for the projectionists such as washstand and lavatory. A new item of equipment noted in the Avalon projection room is a device known as the Gold E Framing Light Shield, the work of H. Goldberg, Chicago. Strong automatic changeovers are also part of the booth equipment.